Welcome to another video on the channel. Today, I'm releasing my Subtle Armor Texture Pack, a pack which makes your armor less obstructive while also looking intentional. And by that I mean actually changing the armor textures while also making them less obstructive on your skin. And you can see it behind me. In the last few years, as Minecraft SMP content has continued to be popular, many people have started using texture packs that either completely hide or at least show less of the armor over their skin. This is usually in more cinematic and roleplay focused SMP content where the armor someone's wearing can often be in the way of the storytelling. Because a ton of us want to show more of our character rather than the armor, many people have made overlays, but they've all taken different approaches. Some just edit the armor textures and call it a day. Works, you can tell what the armor is and you show off more of the skin. Nice and easy. If people just want to look at default textures, then it's perfect for them. Now others make completely custom armor or really want to show off the skin. So some will make the armor look more like ornaments or like decoration on the skin more than armor. I've seen belts, I've seen crowns, I've seen a bunch of different things of how people imagine armor that would not obstruct the character. I have a couple here that I will show and compare with my version. And with that, let's go into how I went about making this pack. So with this armor, I went with the default color palette, and I tried to sort of implement Minecraft's art style in just being a little bit imperfect and just a tiny bit messy while still looking good. So I was really trying to think about what Minecraft should look like as I was doing this. But of course, gotta start out with your basic shape, and then you gotta start shading. I always start with sort of where my light sources are gonna be, where the bright spots of the armor are gonna be. So at first, I'm making out this sort of like brim of the helmet, and then I add a shadow onto it, sort of to differentiate the two, you know, as like the brim is sticking out, but the rest of the helmet is not. Then I go for the main sort of light source on the helmet, this sort of back of the top, and I mess it up a little bit so that it doesn't look, you know, clean. It just looks like Minecraft's sort of style in terms of making, you know, light sources and shadows. From there, I just played around with the brim and until I was happy, and then we move on to the chest plate. With the chest plate, I was mainly inspired by the saddest animations where the characters were like wearing the sort of platey armor that still showed most of the character while, you know, showing that they were wearing armor, which they were during that actual scene in their server. I thought that was perfect for this idea, and so that's what I tried to implement at first, albeit I did change it later, but I still think it's a cool idea. So moving on to the actual chest plate itself, you know, just drawing out the shape, and, you know, I wanted it to really only cover half the torso. Again, want to show off the skin, and yeah, just, this is how I usually shade my chest plates, but I went about making some imperfections. You can see it's not very symmetrical, but It's close enough. It's just slightly asymmetrical, which I think is just perfect for Minecraft. And then with the leg, going for the similar vibes I've been talking about, sort of just wrapping around the thigh. I originally had it all the way around, and then I stuck with what I was going with earlier of just having it cover part of the thigh, and then a strap in the middle. And then the boot is sort of just, I wanted to make a smaller boot, almost like a shoe. And that's probably the design of this armor that's changed the most, besides maybe the arms. It went through many different sort of heights and shapes and whatnot. But in general, I just wanted it to look like you were wearing something there. I didn't want it to just be hidden, but I did also want it to be subtle. Obviously, since first designing this armor back in August, if you can believe it, it's gone through a lot of changes. First, the brim is now a new layer on the helmet and has a little bit more detail to it. The arms are now pauldrons instead of the strapped on pieces of armor. All the straps were removed, even on the thighs, and they were made a little bit longer. And the boots are a completely new design, which I think just looks overall better. They look like sort of rugged boots or shoes, and I overall really like how this armor has come out now. It looks just like another Minecraft model, and I could not be more happier with the final result.